Obviously, it's ladies' night.
Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome to the Bison Brothers Basketball Podcast, your number one source for all things Bison basketball. I'm your host, Chip Washington, the self-appointed Bison basketball fanatic.
Yo, what's up, Bison Nation? It's your boy, Brian B. Smooth Foston, lover of all things Howard, lover of all things basketball. We're looking forward to engaging Bison Nation with another power-packed episode. Really special stuff going on this time. E, what's up, baby?
Hey, what's going on? It's E-Wash. Still got the serious basketball Jones and ready to talk some Howard hoop.
I love it, man. And you all are in for a treat today, Bison Nation. We, in addition to our normal flow of recaps and over/under reactions, and of course, what's good for basketball, you guys get to meet some special guests a little later in the episode. We can't wait to have you learn a little bit more about our budding Bison Nation on campus right now. Just remember, OKK. That is the hint. But before we get into it, man, Chip, why do we do this, man?
Bison Nation, we want you to support these championship teams. Support the Dream Factory. Support this championship culture, this dog mentality of the school. So we want y'all to donate to these athletic programs. Donate to the Mecca Society. That is Howard's name, image, and likeness society. You can donate at themeccasociety.org. You can also donate directly to Howard Athletics at hubison.com. You can give to the athletics department or to the Bison Express Booster Club. And we want you all to go to the games. You're going to see something special when you travel or come to the Burr to see these games. And as always, we want you to tell everybody about this podcast. You can see this podcast just about everywhere. On YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, and you can follow us on Instagram at Bison Brothers Basketball. So do all of that. Share the podcast, like the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, continue to tell everybody about this podcast, comment, send us your over and under reactions, and let's just support this school, support this program, and let's make it happen. Let's get it with this show today.
I love it.
I'm ready.
Man, I'm always hyped, man. I'm always hyping. You know, brothers, before we jump into the next segment and get our quick dance break on, I want to tell you that I got a chance to at least catch two of the games we'll talk about in person. So I'm looking forward to bringing some of that energy from Burr to the conversation. But before we jump into our recaps, you know how we do. We warm it up. Shout out to the Showtime Marching Band to get us started. E, man, come on, man. You gotta give me a little energy, bro. You like you're jonesing for another Jones over here. You all right, bro? You good? We good?
Yeah, we good.
Come on, man. Look like somebody told you that LeBron was the greatest player of all time and not Michael Jordan. You got that long look on your face.
That makes my internal organs shift when you say
I'm
that.
just saying. You know, that's in the topsy-turvy world. People think that LeBron is the greatest. Just saying. It's still MJ. So we good. So let's get into it, man. We had a power-packed weekend. We had a road trip, a business trip up to Delaware State, Dover, Delaware, where both our men and women took on the Hornets of Delaware State. And then, you know, on Monday we had a chance to celebrate Senior Day at Howard University by bringing University of Maryland Eastern Shore Hawks back to the Burr. We just played them up in in Salisbury, Maryland, and they came back for a field trip to DC. And so we'll run through the updates. We'll start on the Saturday games. We can open with the ladies if we could. So Chip, what did you see in that game? I know I saw winning, but I know you have a different way of measuring winning. If it's not pure, you tend to have a very laser focus on why it wasn't as good as it could have been. So I'll let you open it up for us today.
So, all right. So this time I was okay. We had decent number of assists. Everything was looking fine. Really, it's a short take on the Delaware game. So I was nervous because I didn't see Z Payne in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
And come to find out, I didn't even see her on the bench. So when she wasn't playing, I was a little concerned because, that's our girls. It's the inside presence. But we managed to do okay without her. So it was fine. Really, to me, the story of this game was Delaware State's abysmal shooting. Like, it was bad. Shout out Delaware State. I think they shot like 11%, 12% from the field.
They were a whopping 25% from the field.
Yeah.
1 in 4 shots went in the basket.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to win a game that way. So they didn't shoot well, and our defense is top notch. So to me, that was really the story of the game. What was the final score there? It was
62 to 45.
Yeah, 62 to 45. It just wasn't really close. The ladies did what they had to do. Balanced scoring effort. I think so Kaya Creek. Man, shot the lights out. So
Sure did.
Hey, if that confidence and can carry forward, we got special things ahead with the women's team. So yeah, that was like I said, Delaware State had horrible shooting. We had great defense. You put those two together, you're gonna have a 62 to 45 game. So I hate doing short shrift with the ladies, but that's to me, that's what it was. So,
well, you're right. It was a business trip, and so what we wanted to do was get in there and not play down to the competition. So I love your take on it because in this particular game, we actually, in addition to the really outstanding 3-point shooting, shout out to Ewash for wanting to pass the ball inside instead of shooting outside. Mm-hmm. We had 3-point shooting. The rebounding was there because of so many missed shots from the Hawks. And what I loved is that we saw production from the bench because, when we see multiple folks scoring, we tend to seem like we get a little better flow. So we weren't dependent on one person to outscore everybody like we get to someday. So you're absolutely right. I think for me, because of how well they handled business and played to their level, we're clearly currently maybe the second best team in the MEAC right now. Norfolk State is, respect to Norfolk State and what they're doing and the run they're on, and they're playing at a level where they want to compete late into March. But with our team, we are formidable. That's the to your point. If we're playing at that level and getting better, we should see a really strong showdown. Come tournament time. So well done. Shout out to Coach Ty Grace and her staff for continuing to mold the image of what they want in this dog mentality, championship culture based program. So yeah, really good time. So I was excited when we watched it. So when the men came out, I was like, man, of course we're gonna handle business there too.
Yeah.
Not so fast.
Yes.
So
that might be
a bit about that.
Might be a going out of business. Yeah.
Not going out of business. That's pretty good.
And this is a show to support the team. Go ahead, Chip.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Hey, it was, night was 90 to 69.
Yeah.
That was the final score.
That was a tough pill to swallow. Yeah. Tough pill to swallow. I got a short take on this one as well. We had 18 turnovers, which that's not going to help. Right. And we had poor shooting. You combine those two, and it was like Delaware State couldn't miss, especially in the second half.
Oh my gosh.
Because we were, it was at one point, and I think I texted you, Brian, during the game. It was 69-61 with like 5.5 minutes left. I was like, how do we go from 69-61 to 90-69 in 5 minutes? But yeah, Delaware, they were shooting. It was like every time we got close, they would go on like a 6, 7, or 8 point run, and the lead was ballooned back up. But those the turnovers and our bad shooting, to me, that was the story of the game. Like that was gonna be hard to overcome. So
I know. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I know it's a small consolation, but I kind of, in doing a little prep, I went back and looked at the score and the box score from the first time that we played them. And then as I was going through all of the games, I'm like, it really speaks to the depth of quality of play in the MEAC.
Yeah.
It really does, man. Even the teams that don't have the greatest record, or, you can't sleep on anybody. It's what's that, any given Sunday, so any given Saturday, in combination with everybody getting our best shot, you can't take anybody for granted. Clearly.
And play that through. We beat them when they came to the Burr earlier.
Yeah, that's it. I was like, wow,
Yeah, and we a couple of things for context purposes. Between Delaware State and Howard, there were like, I think 4 of the top scorers in the conference were on the floor at the same time. So that's what made it wild. When we weren't shooting well, they shot well. They made every shot they could make. Shout out to Martez Robinson. He came out and put his foot on the gas from the tip, and I think he finished with 26 points. But he came out and set the tone. He was getting all the rebounds, and this is the guard, right? So he came out and said, "I'm gonna get all the rebounds. I'm gonna take every ball to the hole. I'm gonna make every shot." And I think that's what really got us off. We were on our heels from the very beginning, and the shots weren't falling. And so while we kept coming back in the second half, Blake Harper, managed to hit his season average 18 points, but he fought to get those. And I think that we had a little bit of foul trouble, as a result of just the, I won't call it bully ball, but it was tough. They were playing some tough ball in there. And that's part of our maturation as a team. We're not making shots. We got to take the ball to the hole with some sense of purpose and destination. And, those all didn't add up. So Chip, what was wild in that second half was that it took everything we could just to stay within 9 or 10 points for the longest. And then we just ran out of, really gas and people because, they just overpowered it. And I think they wanted to make sure that they served. No, we went 1-1 this season, which means they said, look, we're still formidable. I don't forget that they're the team that we beat to go to the big dance last year. So they had a double chip on their shoulder. Wash. They had a double chip. When we had a chance, when we took the champs from them, they thought they should have been champions last year. So it was a double whammy. I know as I turned off my broadcast or that went on about the rest of my day in DC, I had a hard time really just imagining that we took it really too much there. I know that it's one of those games where what did you learn? And I know that the biggest thing we learned is that if we don't jump out early and set the tone will be set for us. Right? So on Saturday, I think getting the tone set for us on a business trip and knowing that we weren't showing up like we need to, it seemed to get into our bloodstream because when you shift over to Monday's games. And we started out, we actually moved up to the early game. And a point of personal privilege, I was in town because my daughter, Ashley Foston, which is one of our head managers on the team, was being recognized along with a bunch of seniors, players, and managers. So proud papa moment, was able to go and walk her across the court and, give hugs and everything there. And so, but being in there, there was something about senior day where all the folks came out ready to play. And I do think that when we get into the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, we'd beaten them in Maryland. My wonder was it going to be as tight as it was when we were in Maryland? And from the very tip, we came out and said, let's go. Like from the tip, we set the tone and never looked back, getting up by like 20 points at one point. We were just It was never this letdown. The shots were falling. Everybody was playing hard. Everybody was taking the ball to the basket. Blake messed around and tried to get him a triple double. He was on pace to score 40 points, but he came out early and said, "Let me go." And before we looked up, he had 16 points in the first half. Almost 20. And I said, that was real. And so, what did you all see there? Because that, for me, sitting in the stands, I can tell you that the energy, it never let off. Matter of fact, shout out to Coach Ty Thornton. He saw me in the hallway during halftime, and he said, "Hey man, they must know you in the stands, and you're gonna talk bad about them on the show if they don't play well." So they brought their A game. I said, "Whatever I can do, Coach. Whatever I can do." Yeah, and I will tell you, Chip, I saw Anwar Gill in the hallway, and I pointed to him and said, "We're looking for you." He says, I know you're looking for me. I know you're looking for me to play well. I've heard the podcast. So I said,
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we got some fans on the team. Looking in the camera. So we need you. We need you. So what did you all see watching from the TV there, as far as the game is concerned?
So what I saw, and I'm a big narrative guy, and I'm seeing, so like I said, Blake Harper, right, coming out the gate, but I noticed that they were giving him a lot of extra, elbows, or the screens they might have set on, like they were being real physical with him, and so I caught the post-game interview from their coach, and he said that was part of his game plan, was to be more physical with Blake, because they know he's a freshman, but they also know that he's our guy. And so even in context, I saw some other clips. I think when we first played UMES, their fans, they were all over Blake on the first game, just calling him all kind of names. I was just like, man. Wow. But what I saw in that it was an Instagram post, and you can go see. I can't remember who it was, but they were trying to clown him. Are you a D1 player? What's going on? It was yap. Yeah. But when you go in the comments to that video, they were like, all respect, because that dude is the man. They was like, we were getting blown out, so all we could do was try to rattle him and talk about him. So I'm seeing that, and even in the Delaware State game, they're trying to bring it to Blake every game now. And what I really, really like, Bryan, you always talk about the toughness. I'm seeing it's so much maturity in Blake's game to be able to handle all of that. Like I said, I'm slowly realizing that he talks a lot of smack on the floor. And so, he does. And so, but clearly he's backing it up. And so I like that. But he still plays the game the right way, right? He's still getting 4 or 5 or 6 assists, 8 or 9 rebounds, but he's at all times, he's like, I want all the smoke. So, I think that's going to bode well. Like I said, it was a few times, I know if I was his father and I'm in the stands and you elbow my boy like that, I might have to come down off the stands, because they were being real extra with him. So, like I said, that's just going to toughen him up for the tournament. And so I'm really, I'm liking that growth. And then I also want to give a special shout out to my man Taiwo. He had shout out to Christina, Taylor, and Taylor Rawlings for the Taiwo. But he had a dream shake moment. I don't know if you saw it. He got the ball in the post, and normally you might think he was going to pass or, look for the cutter. My man Taiwo said, I got this. He did a couple of back dribbles, drop step, left, right, went up left with the hook, buckets, ran down like, this is what I do. So I had to give Taiwo a shout out for the dream shake, Hakeem Olajuwon move in the post.
So does that mean he was within 15 feet of the basket?
Oh, he was in the paint. He was right in the paint. Oh, I'm telling you, it was a sweet.
Yeah, Taiwo had a dunk and a dream shake hook, and every time he got the ball in offense, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So shout out to Taiwo. He
played big.
I hadn't seen that in this game yet, so loved it.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, man. The part that really caught me off guard on Monday's game was we started off fast, with the scoring, but we really solid defense for a solid 20 minutes. We didn't have any let up on defense. And so we had, I think, about 20-point lead in the first half, but we limited University of Maryland Eastern Shore scoring to 23 points. And that was with us limiting their star player, Shaw, Katron Shaw. He was trying to match point for point with Blake, but they shut him down a little bit. But he wound up with 14 points. He easily could have had 24 if we hadn't played the defense we did. We got a little lax on defense in the second half because, with the final score being, 86-62, that's a lot of points in the second half after scoring 23. So if we can just hold our defensive prowess together, that defense was the one I said, this is what would compete with the South Carolina State and Norfolk State, because we need that level of defense you can't just trade basket with those guys. You got to be able to shut them down a little bit. So they got to catch you. Mm-hmm. They got to catch you. So yeah, really good game. Blake played well, but all of the players, everybody played well that came in the game. There was no questionable substitutions, because I like to say that when we're not playing well, we put people in like, why are they in here? But it was senior day, so a lot of our seniors got to play, which was really nice. Mm-hmm. So we had enough room in the cushion in the score to see everybody play. So, again, shout out to a very strong play. I'm still not sure if this is the team that's going to play through. I'm looking to see what we do in the next couple of games to see have we found the mix. We're the healthiest we're going to be, I believe. Mm-hmm. We're the healthiest we're going to be. So seeing everybody show up, they're starting to identify themselves as the championship caliber team we're expecting going into conference play.
Now I know I'm a homer for my man Calvin.
You
Dunk are. Master Flex.
Sure.
But I'm seeing growth. Are you seeing growth in Calvin's game? And if so, what are you seeing before I see what I'm seeing?
Well, for me, we've missed Bryce Harris, our preseason All MEAC player and two-time MEAC champion, right? We missed his presence not only from a leadership standpoint on the court, but his defensive prowess and his ability to rebound and create space in the middle, like an excellent, passer. And, he's the one who would jump up and dunk on you, just to let you know he was there. Low key, Calvin has been trying to do his best impression of Bryce Harris in terms of how do I get in there and mix it up in the middle, creating space. He's not as tall as everybody, but he's got that strength. And so he gives us a dynamic when it comes to offense that I think people are not used to, because he's quick and he can actually, jump up on you really fast. I have challenges with him when he's in with the bigger players, because sometimes he gets in the air traffic control problem where he's like, I'm all in the middle. But yeah, he gives us a spark that I didn't expect, until I got to see him play more than just a few minutes. So yeah, he's been our substitute. Like without Bryce, he's making me miss Bryce a little less, because he's giving us some Bryce energy when he's on the floor. What about you?
Yeah, no, I concur. Like I said, it was one. I think it was just a layup. His strength is when he's near the basket, being able to get up quick, jump up quick, and he's looking. Every game I see him kind of more confident in putting the layups back in when he's close to the basket. Like I would say, like the first time he did it didn't look like he meant to put the ball in the basket, but it was like the last time I saw him get a shot up when he was inside, he took it up strong. He looked real confident, and I just see that as growth as he's getting more minutes, getting more comfortable in the system. And like I said, I'm still just looking for great things for him down the stretch. I still got my dark horse tournament most outstanding player. I think he's got it. I think he's got potential.
Slow down. That's the over-under reaction part. We're not at that part yet. We're not at that part yet, sir.
That's analysis. That's hardcore
I know.
Analysis.
Well, that's definitely something. That is something. That is something. So I will tell you that the men set a tone that was really welcome coming in from the Saturday business trip, where all the pieces didn't fall into place. We saw really good shooting, good rebounding, really great defense, and like I said, Blake started off the game with the sense that this is how we're going to dictate our pace at home, and so everybody followed through. Everybody followed through on that. So that was really cool to see. All right, so that left us with one more game here. The ladies took the court a little bit later in the afternoon. when I looked at it on paper, I said, well, we should have this in the bag. Of course, we're definitely the better team. But when we got into the game there, the score was anything but assured. So when I watched the first half of the game, Sanaya King was single-handedly keeping us in the game. She tends to distribute the ball and get everybody going, but due to some early foul trouble with Destiny Howe, she had to pick up the pace around scoring, and that she did. She actually put about 20 points in the first half, which is, when I talked to you about her, comparing her with our other guards in the MEAC conference, she's just younger, but she has all the game that would let me know that she's going to be a dominant player for her time at Howard. So she showed why she probably needs to take that same pace. She did her, she and Blake have a sense of let's go. And so I was loving the fact that she was able to essentially shoot us back into the game to the point where we were only down 1 point at halftime after being down for double digits most of the first half. So it was beautiful to see that we have that fight. And then, of course, the second half was a nail biter. I thought about you and your cardiologist, Chip, when I was watching the second half of the game, because until they pulled away, it was like this could go back and forth. And for me, I think that we figured out how to slow down that attack. University of Maryland Eastern Shore, it was like we got to get one, we got to win one. They took one from us, we got to get one from them. So it was good to see. What did you see in the game there?
The main thing I saw, the cardiology report was real bad for the first quarter, because it was one of those, everything that could go wrong was going wrong. We had crazy turnovers. We couldn't shoot. I was like, man. So, but I actually felt bad for Maryland Eastern Shore, because they had us on the ropes. Like I said, everything was looking bad for us. But then in the second quarter, I mean, I'm looking at, we shot, it was 6 for 9 from the three. Most of that was, Sanaya. For UMES to play such a good game. I mean, they had us on the ropes. And then, did we go up by 1 at half? Or was it down by 1?
So we were down by 1. We went up with like 0.6 seconds left, and they called a foul at the end, and they hit the free throws. But we battled back. We had the lead for right at the end of the half. So all the work they did was gone. It was basically 0-0.
Yeah, when I like I said, I felt bad for University of Maryland Eastern Shore, because I was like, man, they played a heck of a first half, and then for all of that to be only up by 1, I was like, oh, it's curtains, as they say. It was curtains for them for the rest of the game. So,
well, one of the things that's interesting to me in doing this podcast, there's watching it live. There's reading about it afterwards, and then there's looking at the box score. And sometimes when I listen to whatever the takes are, and then I look at the box score, because the thing that popped up in my mind today was, the trend is, and I think B hit on this earlier, especially with the ladies, you haven't seen Destiny dominating the scoring. There's always like a different leading scorer. I think it was the one that surprised me was Kaya Creek.
Oh yeah, she balled out
in the other game, and I was like, wow, listening to Chip describe it, even with his glass half empty, sort of paradigm.
We do not go a show without me getting thrown under the bus.
I heard the beat that time. This
is the thing.
See, no, because B disguises his. He's like, well, Chip will da 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 da. And then when I say it is, he's throwing them under the bus. It's still facts.
He's alive.
I quit.
He's alive.
I quit.
He watches alive.
But my point is,
don't call it a comeback.
My point is that the trend still seems to be trending up, especially for the women, in terms of watching it and looking at the stats and hearing other people talk about it in addition to us. So, I just, fasten your seatbelt, but keep the faith, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I love it.
No doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah. We're definitely showing up big. And, the first half, it was a tale of two halves. Obviously the first half, we It took us everything from, the first and second quarter just to get back in the game. Pretty high scoring first half, right? It was 34, 33, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the change was really the third quarter where we held University of Maryland Eastern Shore to 7 points. That was the turning point. And all of our forwards, Zanaya, Thomas, BC Payne, and the team, they just kind of, stepped into their roles and just, again, it was just too much to, they had a really strong play from, I'm going to mess up her name, Dakira Skanes. She was really handling us from a double perspective. Points and rebounds. She was a force, and we finally had to match her will, and that's what neutralized their ability to really jump ahead and stay ahead. So, when it all said and done, did we get scoring from multiple people? Yes. Did we play defense? Finally, yes. And did we do well on the boards to make it competitive? We hit our formula. We took care of business. Again, I like the tune-up we got because this is one of those games where if we faced them in the tournament, and this was tournament play, I'd be more nervous that it took us too long to get going. We have to set the pace a lot quicker because those games, when you go away from home, get a little tougher to battle back from. So it was a good game for us to play because I think we're not going to have the same level of competition until we get really get on the road trip down to Carolinas and see if we can match that energy when we're on the road. And we end up the season playing Norfolk State. That's the matchup that's letting me know where we are. Are we going to be forever number 2, or are we going to crack that case and be back in the play for March Madness? So good games. Senior Day was a really rousing success. Everybody played like they wanted to win in front of the crowd. And for me being there in person, I can promise you the energy is getting better. Can we fill up the stands more? Yes. There's plenty of space and seats, but for those that were there, they were into it. And my hope is we can continue to build the momentum. Bison Nation, we got to do it. Yeah. This is good. E.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I have on my, and I'm gonna thank Chip for he bought me the March Madness shirt when they went last year, and I put on my March Madness shirt today. And I'm feeling extremely optimistic about their chances. Not to be way over the top with it, but they still number 2 in the standings. Have had little hiccups here and there, but I don't think it's too tall of a mountain to climb to say that they can do it a third time. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
That's awesome. Well, I love these recaps, man. Sometimes people hear us laughing and joking a lot, but there's a lot of really serious analysis going on, so that you can really understand that we're watching every minute of every game, sometimes rewatching it so we don't miss something that may not have popped out off the stat sheet. So I always love this part, brothers. This is cool. And so before we segue to the next segment here, we did mention before we finally found them. Super Sleuth Chip Washington put out a call and said, "Who are these girls who keep saying, oh, KK?" And he went out to Bison Nation, and between the power of social media and people just saying, "Hey, I know who they are," we found them. And in our next segment, you're going to hear from. You want to introduce the Chip? You found them. You want to introduce the 2 young ladies we're going to meet.
We got the phenomenal Taylor Rawlings, and then we also have the phenomenal Christina Taylor.
Yeah, they're going to come up in the next segment. So sit back, relax, get you something to, sip on. We're going to play a little music. And when you come back, you're going to hear a little bit from our OKK Bison Nation fans and learn all about them. That's it.
Yeah.
So listen up. We Bison Nation, we've been scouring all of Howard. If you've been to how we've been from Burr all the way down to the valley, we've been crossing the yard. We've been hanging out in Blackburn. The food is better now since when we were back in the day, and we finally found them. These are the young ladies who have allowed us to hear our brother Chip imitate one of their chants.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we
Ladies
got
and,
him.
ladies and gentlemen, we want to introduce Christina Taylor and Taylor Rawlings. These are the leaders of Bison Nation. Hey, welcome to the show, ladies. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having
So
us.
excited.
All right, all right.
All right, so we got to do a little. You guys got a Bison intro because we want to make sure people know who you are individually, and then we'll get into some of the nicknames. You guys got to help us understand how you're doing this stuff. So we'll start with Christina. Christina.
Hi, Bison Nation. My name is Christina Taylor. I'm a senior chemistry major from Baltimore, Maryland. Go Ravens!
Ooh,
Right.
ouch. I'm a 49ers fan, so I can't really cheer with you, but we're going to be cool. We Bison.
Hey, Bison fans. My name is Taylor Rawlings. I'm a graduating senior biology major, chemistry and Spanish double minor on the pre-dental track from Richmond, Virginia.
Wow, represent
VA.
VA. Now she has
All
minors
right.
and majors. Chip, we just majored in engineering, right?
That's
we
all.
didn't get to do minors. They said you got to get up out of here with that. So, man, these are the best and brightest. This is best and brightest. So let's jump into it. I know Chip, you've been dying to ask some questions. Yeah, what do you have for the ladies up front here?
Well, look, I guess first off, just how did you guys meet? How did y'all meet? How did that all come about?
Christina, you want to go ahead? Yeah, freshman year.
Yeah, it all starts freshman year. We lived at CHN 2229.
We're
Okay.
so fun.
Oh,
All right.
We had the same friend group, so we just started chatting there. And then we started going to games, basketball, volleyball. We don't discriminate. You know?
Okay.
Love all sports.
Mhm.
All
I
right.
think through hanging out, we kind of, like Christina said, we kind of found that we had a lot of interest in sports and everything. So, like she said, we started going to games, just cheering whenever we had a day off, and there was a game, we would go. And we started having classes together and everything. So the classes and the games, and also being a part of the friend group, helped us get a lot closer.
Okay. And so how long did it take you? Give me the formative thoughts, like how did you come up with the idea to start these chants?
Okay, so honestly, it started with OKK. So we were at a game and just sitting there, we're usually loud and upbeat anyways at the games, doing the dances and everything. And Cameron Shackley, OKK, made a shot, and I was just like, OKK. And then Christina was like, well, that sounds like the chant. We should, do it. So the next time he did it, we were like, OKK. And then from there, we were like, okay, well, we have one for him. Let's make some for the team.
Oh, very cool and organic. All right.
now,
No doubt.
now I know for me, and I got a chance to meet you all in person. So thank you all for letting me know. I was sitting behind some celebrities. Everybody, if you go to the game, they literally get up and start cheering. So you might want to sit a few rows back if you want to see the whole game. They cheer the whole time, which is beautiful. So I did want to ask you, because I asked you this when we met on Monday, because you don't discriminate. You all have nicknames for our women's team, or at least you're working on those. And so I only heard a few of them. So how's that coming? How are you guys coming with some of the nicknames for the ladies team?
We're doing pretty well. We have, I would say, the starting five. We have backups, like got a good little, and we're still brainstorming at that too. So it's coming along.
Love it.
So again, I'm a bit of an artist. I write music and other stuff like that. So I think the inspiration is it just hits you while you're watching and you're like, that sounds good. And then you all choreograph it. Like, how does that work? How do y'all come up to
We'll just try something, and I'll be like, literally, one of the team members will do something, make a shot, make a free throw, make a block, whatever, and I'll just say something, or Christina will say something, and we'll be like, does this sound good, or is it corny? And if it's corny, we're like, nah, we need to rework it. But if it sounds good, we're like, okay, we'll try it for the next one and see if it sticks.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Well,
so
far,
so far,
yeah,
sticking.
so far so good. Everything that I've heard has been great. So,
Thank you.
So E-Wash is like he's lining up some questions over there. What do you have for the ladies, E-Wash?
Well, you know, I don't want to dominate all the time because y'all know I'll talk forever. But
we're no longer worried about that. We're no longer worried about
that's
that.
an inside joke. That's why I asked you the inside joke earlier. You know, these guys kind of, you know, give me a little hard time sometimes. But you know, you kind of answered some of my questions already in that you seem like genuine sports fans. Have you ever played any sports yourself?
Yes. I played softball, rugby. I tried football. My mom told me I couldn't do that because I'm a girl. So I played volleyball like recreationally. Same thing with pickleball.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, I've been around.
Okay.
Yeah, I play sports as well. I've been like all around, honestly. I grew up playing basketball and soccer, did gymnastics here a little bit, dance if that counts as a sport.
It does.
And also getting into pickleball now. My dad introduced me to that. And with basketball, my whole family, like my sisters and some of my brothers played. My dad and my sisters even coached like a high school team. So I've been kind of integrated with the sport for a while now.
Okay. Well, now see that makes me want to kind of say.
Honestly, I think a lot of guys more so like football, and I don't really watch football that much, honestly. Like Christina will tell you, I will tell her, I don't know what's going on. I'm just rooting for whatever team that wins or like whoever my friends are going for. But when it comes to basketball, I mean, you know, I'll have my teams that I'll watch. I started putting in parlays now on some of the teams. So, you know, I watch like the Lakers or Golden State or like some of the teams with the known names that are like prominent, I should say. Yeah.
Who's your NBA team?
I don't have one necessarily, but I used to claim Golden State.
Okay. What about you, Christina? Since you're from Baltimore, who's your NBA team?
I don't have one. I don't really watch them like that because we don't have a team.
Okay.
So, I watch like baseball, football.
Okay. Oh wow.
Okay. Get like free tickets to the baseball games. So.
Oh wow.
And so
I'm going to ask something.
I mean, that's not offensive, but I thought it was hilarious, and I thought about you guys when I heard him say it. Oh man,
you're a funny guy, man. Chip, this is your.
I know.
This is your brother, man. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So what I wanted to do, because you all have a genuine love of Howard sports, right? My first question is, of all the sports, besides basketball, what's your next favorite sport that Howard competes in?
Oh, that's good.
Volleyball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You too? I agree, concur. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And you know, it's interesting that you say that because I think volleyball for me was probably the first in this kind of golden age of Howard sports. I'd say volleyball was the first sport that had me really paying attention to the winning ways of Howard University. So
I feel like they're very competitive, and the people they go against, like even if they're harder teams, they are still like they're fighting. And if they lose by like a very low margin. Like football.
There was that one time we went down to Atlanta for the classic or whatever there.
The Celebration Bowl.
Celebration Bowl. I did make it down there for that, and that was tough. That was tough to watch. I got too many family members from FAMU, and they reminded me that they don't call unless they win. So I heard a lot of calls that day. Yeah. That's how it works. That's how it works. When I don't hear from them, I know we won because it gets real quiet. But they called and showed up at the game. So I guess so. That's one question, and then I guess the other question I have for me, and it's mostly because I don't think we've had the benefit. We saw the little clip you did at the practice with the guys, so we did want to see if you would do us the honor of kind of walking down the list of let's start with the guys and your chants with each of them, right. And then the ladies, because you know this show is all about basketball. We're doing a little bit of talking about other sports right now, but we're unapologetically basketball fans, and that's got everybody tuning in for that. So. I don't know, Chip, do you have the list of names in front of you of all the brothers? Because we follow them all the time. But we would call out a name and let you guys walk us through the chants. Can we do that?
All right. So I guess we'll go back to the one that they said was first, just to hear it live on the show. Mr. Cameron Shackley, OKK.
Christina, you want to go do the first one?
Okay, yeah. So, okay,
Oh,
How about
sounds just like Chip. Sounds just like
I was
Chip.
just gonna say, you know, you're a ringer over there.
Yeah.
And my second favorite that I saw from the clip, my man Joshua Strong.
Okay. It goes because
I
he's
saw that.
strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I think my third favorite, my man Miles Stewart.
Yeah. Miles.
Oh yeah.
Because he cooking.
He's cooking.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Love it. And then my new favorite, my up and coming player, my man Ayodele, Taiwo.
His is Taiwo.
Oh,
I love that.
Yeah. You know,
My man, the LaSalle transfer, Mr. Anwar Gill.
Yeah, because he's Gil with the will.
Love it.
That's the Kobe Bryant fist right there. That's the Kobe Bryant right there.
Our man, the 3-point specialist, Mr. Marcus Dockery.
For him, it's the doc is in.
Okay.
Our phenomenal freshman, Mr. Blake Harper.
Be hard.
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes a lot more sense knowing you from Baltimore. Everything with B is going to be stronger with.
Yeah.
That makes sense. See, I'm paying attention.
We got our Dartmouth guy, Mr. Jaron Johnson.
Okay, so for him, we have two. So the first one is JJ3, or if he makes it 3, it's 3 for 3.
All
Was anybody
right.
jealous
I like
that he got two
the
names?
second one better. I'm just saying.
There
I'm
we
representing for my boys.
Y'all creating locker room division since he got two names.
Shout out to the Noops. Shout out to the Noops.
Oh.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
Taylor.
the perfect
Let's go,
reaction.
Taylor. Shout out to the Noops. Bloody Z is always in the building, baby. Bloody Z is always.
It's all about Omega Sci-Fi, But we don't want to get off track here.
It's too late.
Come on, back to the
So
list,
let's
man,
see.
because I'm still liking that second one better. I'm just saying.
Are we missing anyone? Did you have one for Munir Hema?
We do.
Oh,
Go ahead,
right.
Christina.
Big Mo. Yeah.
You didn't do
okay.
you didn't do the hand movements.
They do the hand movement. Big move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you do your homeboy from Chicago, Kenwood?
Oh, we
Kenwood's
come-
finally?
For Calvin,
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
his is 21. Make another one for me.
Hey,
Oh, all right.
hey.
Okay.
What about my man Dom Campbell?
We're still working on the rest of the team. Yeah.
Hey, it's the lab. We're in the lab.
We're still working on them.
Taylor, that's what we call podcast gold. That's gonna be a blooper.
Y'all
What about my man Dom? I was like,
in his feelings.
I ain't seen that brother.
We know who Dom is. We've seen him. We know who he is. We just still in the lab with the rest of them.
Still in the lab.
Hey,
Still in the lab. I like it.
what is it? Did we miss anyone? You got any chance for anyone else on the men?
I think that was all the ones that we had for the men's.
They play.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Okay.
play.
Okay.
Shout out to
Yeah.
the folks sitting on the bench that can't get no love because you can't cheer for them. Then I come
Ooh,
to
you're
practice.
wrong.
There's a
Skip
lot
them
of
to practice.
enemies potentially on the show, ladies.
I'm just saying, I tell it like it is. Come see me. Come see me. If you're gonna nickname, you gotta play. You gotta play. Nickname if you don't play.
That's somebody's child, B.
Hey.
That's somebody's child is sitting on the bench. I'm just saying.
Oh, giving it to him raw.
Oh Lord.
What's that, Christina? We missed that. What you say?
I said that part because I agree.
I'm just saying. I can't have Tay Too Raw and Chrissy T trying to come up with chants so they only see the back of your jersey.
Oh man, it's cold. It's rough.
You know what? I got a chant for those guys and them. You know.
Oh.
So who was that? That's some Howard basketball players and them. They don't get a name, don't get nothing. It's another bitch.
You just create enemies. Be smooth.
Yeah.
No,
that's Chip's job. B.
No. I'm just telling everybody like it is. We want to see you play, and these young ladies are giving up really good time. They're going to create a cheering section, and if you don't play, we can't cheer for you. Just saying. Just know.
Okay.
If you don't have a nickname, that means you need to work on your playing time. Just saying.
So how would y'all feel if you got everybody inside the burr doing your chants and cheers?
Oh, that'd be a time. That would be so nice because from freshman year, I said, "Where's the hype? We need something," because there's like no energy, none. And the volleyball, like nobody's there at the volleyball games. The basketball games, nobody was there at the basketball games. I'm like,
Right.
And people leave for the girls' game. It's just like, dang, like what y'all doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and following up on what Christina said, so definitely feel like that would be awesome just to hear how our chants have impacted like Bison Nation and hear all of everybody's support. And then as well, like we have this app called Fizz here at Howard. I think they also have it at other HBCUs. And somebody actually posted today, like, I feel like Howard doesn't have any school spirit, like it's all a facade, like why are y'all even here or something like that. And I was like, that's so true, because like Christina said, we go to the games, nobody's really up and doing anything or cheering. I mean, there's a couple people or a few people throughout the stands, but most of the time it's really only me and Christina and our other friend John, who's up and talking and cheering.
Was that John I met that shoots like a baseball player? He shoots basketball like a baseball player.
Yes.
That's my man John. Shout out to John. Yo. My man said I'm a baseball player. He went out there and was like throwing chest passes from 3-point line. I said, come on, bro. We're gonna have to get you a new sport. But I love it. So that's funny. That's the reason why we started the podcast, because we too know that there are pockets of fans. A few years ago we had a chance to travel to Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa, for the March Madness game. And I'd never been to Des Moines, Iowa. I'd never planned to go to Des Moines, Iowa. And unless we have to go back there again, I'm never going back to Des Moines, Iowa. But what we found out was that there are fans who travel for the games from all over, Bison Nation. And, Chip was the one that said, man, what if we could create a podcast just to let people know there's folks that want to cheer the team on? We got to build that up. So, we say stuff like pack the burr and come out and do what you got to do. But we feel it. And that's why it was important for us to get you all on the show as early as we could, because when we know you all are, you represent the next wave of Bison Nation. And that's our challenge now. So that's the deal. That's why we wanted to talk about it. And that's why you had to go through the chants. We're going to work together. Our goal is by the Norfolk State game, or maybe even sooner, because more Norfolk State's during spring break. So that's going to be weird. That means there's going to be 2 people in the gym, and it's going to be them going to be sitting on the bench with nobody cheering for them.
Ooh, Lord.
But for the MEAC, we're going to make sure that everybody going down to the MEAC tournament knows these chants, because we're going to out chant some folks. The only team that's going to have more fans than us down there will be Norfolk State, because it's down in Norfolk. Are you guys going to the tournament?
We were just talking about that.
Well, I think you should go. Matter of fact, we should. Was it KB or somebody? We should get them to do something to make that happen. It's worth the trip. I think because of the fans that you are, we need you down there, because it's gonna be lonely, especially if we get the fans that don't like us coming back trying to win 3 years in a row.
Right.
Just saying. And so we got to get.
I was gonna say a shout out to y'all for traveling to was it Delaware? You went down
Delaware
to Delaware
State last
State?
weekend.
I saw you, and I was watching the game and said, "Hey, there go Christina and Taylor. I love it."
Actually, he said, "There's the OKK girls." He said, "Okay."
I did.
This is great.
I did.
This is great. Well, I appreciate you. I know y'all got to get back to studying. This is a little later at night. But we appreciate you coming on the show. We look forward to helping people learn the chants, because we want to see folks. That's our goal, is to see the sections. Like we've traveled to Duke before. They got the Cameron Crazies. We got to come up with a nickname for Burr, but you all are going to be the beginning of that, and that's what's exciting about all things Howard and all things basketball, right? Yeah, this is great. So appreciate you all being on the show. Hey, good luck with school. I know that you all both are destined for greatness, because you're already putting great energy out here. And if there's anything we can do, just let us know. We're Howard alums first, so whatever we can do to support your journey,
especially on the dental front.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for having us on your show. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's keep cheering. Wait a minute. Before we close out this segment, though, Christina, we're going to Baltimore this weekend. We don't have any problems with you switching sides or nothing, because it's Morgan State and Coppin, so don't be acting all B-more on us.
We shall see. Baltimore first now.
Hey, I respect that.
You know what, Chip? You know what I respect? She's now on the list. She is gonna get clowned. Chrissy T gonna get clowned. It's like, look at her switching sides like a Baltimore crab trying to get out the bucket. Get off me.
It's too funny.
I'm just saying. Well, tell you what, we're gonna keep rolling here. We're gonna have some of this in the show a little later. I'm sorry, Eric. Yes, okay. You had a question.
I got one exit question for both of you ladies.
Okay.
Since you all are real sports fans, and today is February 19th, so we want to wish our sponsor, one of our sponsors, Michael Jeffrey Jordan's. His birthday was February 17th. You know, since you all are real sports fans, who's the GOAT, LeBron or Mike?
Michael Jordan.
I would say Michael Jordan as well. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good answer.
Great answer.
Fantastic answer. Do you know how quickly we would have cut y'all out of this show? That was awesome.
Hey,
that was awesome.
Chrissy T, Tay to Rob, thank you so much for coming. We really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
All right, y'all take care. Wait, can we get an HU?
Okay.
HU.
You
know. Oh, welcome back. Man, that was a powerful interview. You guys are hilarious. Shout out to Chrissy T and Tay Raw. They got nicknames for everybody, and they got nicknames for themselves. I hope you all enjoyed it. Hey, guess what? You know, as you heard on the interview there, expect to hear one or both of them in some of our upcoming episodes. They're attending every game, so getting their perspective will bring us yet another fun fan that's telling us, here's what we're seeing, here's what we're enjoying about Howard basketball. I'm your boy B Smooth, and this is Chip Washington E-Wash. We are Bison Brothers Basketball, and we are looking forward to continuing to build Bison Nation fans, one fan at a time. Chip, what you have for us?
I was just gonna say, Bison Nation, you heard the challenge. You heard from Christina. You heard from Taylor. We want y'all to do their chants at the game. So the challenge is out, Bison Nation. Get those chants, learn them, and we want to start hearing them at the games. Let's make it happen.
Right. That's right. Record some. You all like to take selfies and all that stuff. Give me some. We need some footage. We want to see who's doing it. The goal, like we said, the goal is to get everybody doing it. We the ones that put the swag surf on the map, Howard University. We can do that for ourselves. I'm looking forward to it. We got a business trip to Baltimore. So those in Baltimore, that's your first chance to show us what you got. All right. So listen, we're at a point now where we get to hear from E-Wash. He's looking like he's sad. Like somebody told him that basketball wasn't his favorite sport. He didn't like to dribble up and down the court.
Well, in giving the ladies all their accolades, and what impressed me the most was that they were real serious sports aficionados.
That's right. That's right.
No empty calories with those ladies.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's good for basketball, E? What's good for basketball?
So I'm going to be a little redundant here. Okay. It's Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I got up this morning. I went to work. I had some Air Jordans on. I had a, excuse me, B. I had on a North Carolina warm up jacket. It's Mike though. He is a sponsor. He is a sponsor. You can cut me a little slack. He is a sponsor. Thank you. Whatever relief I can get, because it is nothing short of amazing to me to see that Jumpman logo all over the burr, to see it on the apparel, and to know who he is and what it has meant for basketball for real. You know, to even see the commercial. You know, we talked about that after the Super Bowl, and Steve Howard featured in that. You know, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, man. You know, happy birthday, because you are great for basketball. In my book,
he's been phenomenal. He's been phenomenal, bro. Yeah. You're absolutely right, and you stayed in the pocket on that one. You know, sometimes you play a little jazz. We don't know if you're coming in on the 1 or the 2 or the 7. But you stayed in the pocket on that one. I was able to groove with it.
Improv though, B.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the Jordan brand. You know what I did is to add to what you're saying. When I walk back into Burr, we have the Jordan brand wall. Right, we're one of the few Jordan schools that has every pair of Jordans ever made in our school colors on a wall display. And you know, those who follow us on Instagram at Bison Brothers Basketball, take a look on our stories and some of our reels tomorrow. We're going to have just a clip of, you know, what was going on inside the Burr, and that's one of those views that you want to check out. It's just amazing to know we're one of the few schools that can say we're one of the latest Jordan brand schools to join the fold, but one of the first to get the wall. And so, that's right. You know, we're in the deal for a long haul. So shout out to Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And happy birthday for sure. All right, so this is our our part before we wrap up the show today. We got to get some over and under reactions. Okay, who would like to go first?
Go first, Chip.
All right, I'm gonna go first. I'm just like Ice Cube and jacking for beats. I'm gonna steal this overreaction from Eric Grant, because when I heard it, I was, you know me, I'm not one for hyperbole or to blow things out of proportion. But he said Sanaya King is better than Diamond Johnson. I was like, ooh, you've made it to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Oh, so he's the South Carolina of.
I'm just saying that, and your ability to downplay your hyperbole is hyperbolic.
See, he did it again. See how B just did it again.
It is. I'm just saying it's hyperbolic. Yeah. It's hyperbolic. I think I had to check my heartbeat to say, what is he talking about? I no longer am worried about what you were going to say next.
So I got all the love in the world for Sanaya. I think she's a wonder.
She's awesome.
I don't know if I'm ready to say she's better than Diamond Johnson. I'm gonna have to put that in the overreaction category.
So the only reason it hits overreaction for me is that, a few episodes ago I told you that I see her in the maturity she's shown over the year here. She's box office, and I know that she plays a similar game to Diamond. So when they played against each other in Norfolk, she seemed younger. She didn't play as though she was going to battle with the best player on the other team. But when I saw how she stepped up and put up 20 just like that against University of Maryland, sure, not the same level, but the way she was able to take over a game, I think she's in the conversation of, there's not too many other guards in the league that, you can put in the same conversation with Diamond. So, yeah, I mean, but, Eric Grant, shout out to Eric in the Mexican side. He's a hyperbolic dude as well. So I like that. He
Oh,
He tries to hype it up.
Tight. That's why him and Chip is tight.
That's right. It's a Chicago thing as far as I'm concerned. It's like, yeah.
But I will
like
say this: I'm looking forward to the next matchup because I do think Sanaya is going to take it personally, and bring the fight to Diamond. So, but Diamond, she gives me the vibe that she'll take all comers. So I'm looking forward to the next matchup.
I like it. Yeah. Any other overreactions for today? E, you got one for us?
Well, we're not gonna overreact to the tough loss that we had with
Delaware State.
Yeah. I'm trying real hard not to overreact to that because I appreciate that they bounced back, and we still number 2 in the MEAC. It is to look at our regular record, and it's almost a little distracting. Go like, oh, they still got a winning record in the conference and a good winning record. It's not like they hanging on by a thin thread or something. So, I'm not going to overreact to that loss. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like what you did there. Yeah. You kind of did an underreaction for the overreaction. I got it. Okay, I'm following. Okay. So my overreaction is going to be consistent since we gone Jack for beats and all that stuff. My consistent overreaction is it will come down to the last game, but I do believe that Blake Harper is very much in contention for Player of the Year, not just rookie. He'll be the first Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year in the conference in a long, long time. So it comes down to the last game against Norfolk because the guy he's going against is on Norfolk's team, as far as I'm concerned, as far as getting that same accolade. And he's getting a lot of press, but that I just know that with the push of media and stories that are coming about Blake right now, and his jump from 0-star to on the national scene, it's going to play. It's going to play. So I believe the overreaction for me is that Blake Harper will be, Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year for the MEAC this year.
And I want you to know, B, I wrestled with that as an overreaction. I was thinking along those same lines. So I'm with you.
I mean, it's not a fluke that the podcasts are up, and we'll get him on the show here so he can get his numbers up. But like I said, the idea is that the stories are hitting at the right time, and he continues to play. And so when they're mentioning him in the same breath as Cooper Flagg and other folks that are doing well as freshmen, the press is starting to really pick up the narrative, and that's this award is in large part about the narrative of the guy, the player. So definitely want to shout out that Washington Post article too, man. I was impressed with the narrative of that, to the point. So he's trending up as well. No question. That's right. So any underreactions besides the one Eric slipped in as an overreaction? Chip, you got any underreactions for us today?
My only underreaction is maybe the beef with Coach Ty Grace is off because she finally gave Marissa Steele about 20 minutes in the I think it was the Delaware State game. So, good job giving Marissa Steele the energy player some minutes. I'm willing to say the beef might be off. So, Coach Ty Grace, you're off the hook.
For now. There he goes again with that positivity. Which leads to my actual underreaction of you don't want to underreact to the fact that they're spreading the wealth on the ladies' team. They really are. And we talked about that, I want to say, all the way back to when we were talking about the non-conference schedule, and we were talking about what are they going to do different, this and that. And we were all talking about how they're going to, what they would need to do to morph into something different or to play a little different. And they're actually doing it. So you don't want to underreact to that, Coach. So don't listen to Chip.
It's too late. It's too late because Ty Grace said, Chip, you got a point. And she's a fan of the show in a way that is very authentic. She actually will say, hey, you have a legitimate beef there. So Chip is winning friends differently You know,
well, this is where I have to bring my mama into it. B, you know,
I dog it. You be doing that now?
we did the best we could. I'm sorry, we did the best we could with it, B.
So the part here that you don't seem to understand, Chip, is that it works for you. So when you say you got beef with people, they want to hang out with you and everything. So I think you keep riding it, man. If you can get coaches to say you have a point, then you've done exactly what you intended to do. So this is cool. This is cool. So I'll add one
for basketball, B. That's bad.
Oh no, it's I disagree. I disagree. You watch, the true fandom has opinions. We don't just go with the flow and say yay for everything. We're paying attention like everybody else. We're concerned about the product on the floor.
This is Chip we talk about.
Chip is the master of hyperbole. And you have to understand that what I love about Chip is that people forget he was a comedian. And then he actually got paid to be a comedian. So it was crazy because he's been in that mode a while where he'll set you over the hook. And next thing you know, you're like, man, why am I hanging out with this dude? He just called me out of my name and now we boys. I don't know what's up with that. So that's the cool part. So he's getting all the coaches to listen in and what we're saying is, if she's off the hook, that's good. She'll appreciate that. We'll make sure we post as we put the production up for this next episode, our 15th episode. So under reaction to round us out today really goes to our men's team, where we've been battling through injury most of the season. And as I said at the beginning of the show, I believe that we're going to be the healthiest we're going to be for the remainder of the season now. So everybody we've been seeing over the last few games, as long as they're able to play, we're going to see. This is the team. This is the team that's going forward. We have very few DNA members of the last championship teams on the floor now. So my underreaction is that I still think we should win the chip, and it's only because it's going to be a growth spurt over the next few games where the identity of this new team will form because they'll have gotten the best from everybody.
Yep.
They'll have toughened up because they're going to realize that those elbows were meant for everybody. And as long as we can figure out a legitimate number 2 to Blake, as long as we can figure out a legitimate number 2 go-to person for Blake, we'll be back in the chip game and making a move to be back in our third, March Madness run. So it's an underreaction because I see all the pieces there. Taiwo showing up gives us a defensive presence we've not had all season. And he's coordinated when it comes down to what he's doing down low by the basket. And he's causing havoc for all these other guys who think they're big until they walk up next to him at 6'11", right? 6'10", 6'11". Our outside shooting, we still fall in love with the E. I know we have to figure out how to balance that. So when it's not dropping early, I want to see us set the tone going to the basket early before we start jacking up threes, because if we can get in the paint and get people to foul us, then they're going to, wish that we stood back and shot longer shots to begin with. But the team we saw on Monday, the team we saw even on Saturday, as long as they can play together, I still think we're a championship team. I have not lost faith in that, even though we haven't won a bunch of games in a row for me to build that confidence. But
I give you a little pushback on the number 2 thing, because I think Dockery, he comes up in 2 of those counts to me, because I feel like I've seen him, maybe not as much as I want to, but I've seen him taking it to the cup. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong here. I feel like we've had enough moments where we've seen him do that. Again, maybe not as much as we want, but it's not like he's not capable of it. And he's clutch. And he does have that DNA you're talking about.
He's one of them.
Yeah,
he's one of them.
He does.
Like I said, I want to say that, but when I sit back, he's not the number 2 all the time.
Okay.
So what I'm talking about now is that when you get past Blake, there's been Cameron Shackley, there's been Jaren Johnson, there's been, Anwar showed up one time, Taiwo was one time. Like, who's the number 2? There has to be a number 2 that emerges for us to know that anybody who's game planning against us, especially with Blake, they got to know there's some other people they got to worry about, and everybody else can get off and do their thing. It's just, there's not a clear number 2 right now for me, and that's probably my only heartburn around, what's the identity going into tournament play? Because if you think you can shut down one player, then everybody else is scrambling around. So Doc could be it, but usually, that has not been proven out the way you're talking. Is not
okay.
He's money every time. He's money when he needs to be, but he's not money every time. So, but that's where the next 4 or 5 games will let me know who emerges as that legitimate number 2 that people got a game plan around. Right. So that's my underreaction, but that's how we'll wrap up the show today. So Chip, let's close it out for today.
Bison Nation, as always, we want to just remind you, continue to support these basketball programs. You can do it in so many ways. You can donate to the Mecca Society at themeccasociety.org. You can go to hubison.com, give to the athletic department and to the Bison Express Booster Club. And please go to the games. We're in the final stretches here. Go to as many games. The teams need your support. So go butts in seats, cheer loud, do the Christina and Taylor Rawlings cheers, make your voices known. And as always, please tell everybody about the podcast that you can hear just about everywhere. You can hear on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, and you can follow us on Instagram at Bison Brothers Basketball. So remember to share the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, hit that like button on the podcast, tell everybody about the podcast, continue to support this championship culture, this dog mentality, this dream factory, and you know how we gonna close this show out like we always do.
You know.